Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Plugabens and time have come for the lion to tell them own story. This is the lion's voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Ras Tafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up lamb's voice. Now put it, I Jalifa said that.
This is Sangy Davis. It's time for the lion to Ika. For unity is strength. Let us come together, my brethren and sisters, and forward to the motherland. Enough love. This is the lion's voice.
Haile.
Ja
Rastafari.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Oh, yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
This is culture sound, a Rastaman sound, positive sound.
Culture sound system with DJ Culture Fire TG.
And now you're in tune to the culture sound, Rasta sound.
Culture sound because of DJ Culture Fire TG.
I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer and I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well, youths in the streets right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The youths them rise against brutality, man a kill another man for your salary. Then train them at the shooting gallery, black and loot, you might lose all your family. Them defend white supremacy, so them see the African as them enemy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say culture sound
like this for centuries, them sick mentally. That's why we have the out in the streets right now. Riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabe is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Lich Tafari's father, Ras Tafari, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Tafari is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Tafari knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Lich Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwasi Bonsu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka the Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network, and welcome to the Lion's Voice, where the lions are telling our own story. And this is Lion Voice Live, new edition, twice every month. Our Saturday show now, we are going live. Just helps, it makes it a lot easier. We don't have to edit, and at the same time, we can be fresh, give you more audience interaction. We love interacting with the Lion Pride. So when we go live, we're able to get the feed forward right away. So we big up all of the ones that I'm watching live, all of the ones that were coming in later. We know this episode is going to be of particular interest because we're talking about the Rastafari man standard, and we're talking about who is Rastafari. You know, we are called by his name, but how many know who Rastafari is? Tonight, we're going to do a deep dive into the living eye, you know what I mean? Kadamawi, the first, the one who set the standard. This is not a religion. I don't want the item feel like we're going into religious talk. We're going into historical facts tonight, and we're gonna look at the man, because I feel like enough of the brethren them lack confidence. I'm gonna tell the truth, and that's why collectively we're lacking in achievement, because we don't know who the man is. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be a little controversial because we gotta shake up the boat. Sam Gideon, and we need more heat from the brethren. I'm seeing the same faces. And if you're a brethren and you're watching this and you're not working collectively with your fellow brethren or sister in this time, you know, this is a heat, because if not now, then when? You know, that is the question I'm asking my brethren and my sister. So tonight we're gonna go deep into who is Rastafari. And when I talk Rastafari, I'm talking about 1916 to 1928, just to give the item an idea that this is not a fantasy talk tonight. Tonight we want to talk about the living man. What was he doing as Rastafari? What were the conditions like in Ethiopia surrounding Rastafari? Because I want to relate it to the brethren of today. If you are a brethren today and you call yourself Ras this and Ras that, are you living up to the standard of Rastafari? Because this is not dress up time, you know. We play dress up or Halloween, or he's a part timer. This is not that time, you know what I mean? If you're a Ras, we want to see the qualification. We want to see the certification by the works, you know. I was given the title Ras by my elders coming into the trad within the Nayabin Girls here in Washington, D.C. And I chose to call myself the Dejazmatch because I felt, you know, I wasn't ready to take on such a monumental task. And for those who know, Ras means head. You know what I mean? That means by automatically leadership. You know, you're responsible for a large number of people. You know what I mean? Some people are saying Ras and they can't manage themselves. You know what I mean? So this is a time of reflection. If what I'm saying hurts, then just take off the Ras title off of your name and call yourself Bongo, Congo. You know what I mean? And you work your way to that. You know what I mean? We have to be very critical of ourselves right now. And there's no shame in self-reflection. But if I meet the eye out a road and you're a Ras, I expect in a certain level of the eye within the levity. That's all I'm saying, you know. And I'm not talking about Rasta, because Rasta to I is a shortcut. No disrespect to the Rasta, them, big up yourself. But Rastafari, we're establishing a standard in the earth. You know what I mean? If we're not dealing with a standard, then what are we standing for? What are we doing? You know, I'm not a hippie. You know what I mean? Yes, one love, but one love within a discipline and an order. You know what I mean? So that is what we're talking about tonight. Who is Rastafari 1916 to 1928, from his ascension from the Dejazmatch, the crown of the Ras. And this is in preparation. February 11th marks the official date of the crowning. He was ascended to the title of Ras on September 27th, but the official crowning took place February 11th. We're trying to line up a guest to go even more in depth into that. I will let the item know if it's possible. You know, we're praying that that will work out. But either way, this is a date that we want to start to celebrate or celebrate within the Rastafari global family, the crowning of the Ras. What a joy, you know what I mean? And, you know, as we develop our rites of passage and we formalize this trad, because every trad have to go through a formalization. And why? Because if there's a standard, then there's a process, you know what I mean, to maintain the standard. And you know that this channel, we're anti-loosey-goosey. You know what I mean? We're anti-loosey-goosey on the channel. We're outwardly hostile to the loosey-goosey lifestyle because we see it has not built anything, creates a lot of confusion. And that don't mean we're out on the road trying to fight people who are loosey-goosey. We just avoid them and we do our own thing. We find the like minds and we join together. And this is why we have established the Lion Pride and family. Do you know that the Lion Pride, we are 26,700 plus strong right now, on pace to do another 1,000 subscribers. So if this is your first time joining us, I say welcome to the fastest growing Ras Tafari independent non-aligned media on the planet. We are growing because the people have spoken and are speaking and are sharing and are commenting. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. That is what we call this collective here. The Lion Pride is not a yes man factory. In the Lion Pride, we respectfully disagree with each other. We come with our sources and our arguments and we reason and we hold a joy. Why? Because the Lion Pride says that unity does not mean uniformity. We're not trying to have everybody have the same reasoning as the Dejazmatch Kwasi. No, you have your own reasoning and everyone have their own sound. But let us come together, iron sharpen iron, we build with each other and we build something mighty. So the Lion Pride is like that. So I big up all of the Lion Pride and it's a global movement. I'm just a curator. You know what I mean? Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We have the economic engine. We're at 29 fire angels right now who are contributing every month. And we're running our 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign right now. So if you come in at the $10 and above, we're doing free consultations, no additional cost to help you build your creative ecosystem. So I sit down with my family and show them exactly what I'm doing and how to build for yourself. And you have I and I as a resource, you know what I mean? So the idea is not just to have I by myself up at the top and no one else is there. No, we are rising Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, and we want a plethora of different platforms, you know what I mean? So I can go and interview on my brethren platform. I can invite my brethren for interview on I platform, and we share, you know what I mean, among each other. That is the heights that the item have tapped into. So big up my Lion Pride on Patreon. I'm appealing to the family. I know we have at least 100 core people who follow, who are part of the Lion Pride energy. I'm appealing to the item. I'm not talking about to the casual viewers. I'm talking about the item who watch the video them and you plugged in. I'm appealing to the item. Join the Patreon. Make we shake the earth right now. You know what I mean? Make we show them that we are worthy of the Rastafari to have a world-class media operation, that we can sit down with Ibrahim Traore and ask him about his majesty. You understand? That is what we're dealing with right now with Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. The tide is sweeping Africa. We have to have our own platforms and our own voice. You think them are going to leave we out of this? And now we set the pace? No, that couldn't be right. We were the ones who created the soundtrack of repatriation, and you think we're gonna sit out this mighty time unfolding on the earth as Rastafari global family? No, don't say that to yourself because you'd be wrong. All right. So join us in the Patreon. I'm talking to the core family and big up their Bonsu Lion Pride same way. And hold on, before I go, let me big up Queen Mother Moses, my bona fide sister who just joined the Patreon, Rases, Jazz and I, Coach Lalabella Institute, big up, you know what I mean, returning to the Patreon, Ras Greece, you know what I mean, from VA, joining the Patreon. So my family, them are coming slowly but surely, and I just want to say big up to all of those family. And I'm inviting the extended family, come and join me and make we have a good time. All right, big up their Bonsu Lion Pride. One-time contribution of $70 and above gets you into their Bonsu Lion Pride. Big up Carib Life Media, Biggie Sean and the Myers family, who Biggie Sean is here with I too. Live, we're about to touch the road and go and check someone. So this is not going to be a long live. But we are, again, just building. The works is happening constantly. You know what I mean? This platform is just a window into a movement that's happening. But just know that it's something special, historic that the item are able to witness, and we're not stopping. Big up the Action Lion Pride, those who comment, like, and share. You don't have to spend $1 to be here. You know what I mean? All we ask is just boost the algorithm, send it to a friend. You know what I mean? Press the like button, drop a comment. You know what I mean? Let the algorithm know that Rastafari is true and that we are living. We are here. You understand? And then we big up the watch and peep, the watchers. Big up yourself as a watcher. Big up yourself as a peeper. We need everyone in the ecosystem. We respect you. I pray that the peepers one day become watchers and action, and you don't stay as a peeper, even if you come to see if we pop down or to hate on the content or find a mistake. I pray for the peepers that they, you know what I mean, heal their heart and they become a productive part of the ecosystem, you know what I mean? So big up everyone though, same way, nothing but positivity that I pushing on this platform, and it's a family. So before we get started, Olan, Akashic, big up yourself, Lion Pride on Patreon family. Make sure you go to Akashic Records page and follow, subscribe. One of our Lion Pride on Patreon. Johnny Johnson, big up yourself. Restoration of the monarchy of him, Haile Selassie the First, Shiloh, 225th active monarch of the Solomonic dynasty, coat of arms, triple crown, Talayido, Oriental African Church leader, standard bearer, chosen one. Johnny Johnson told the I send her an email. I need an interview, you know, Johnny Johnson. I know too much to be just in the comments. One reason with the eye. Yes, I. Wagwan, Ras Kwasi, you don't know, family. Big up yourself, Dan Coolio. All the Lion Pride checking. This is a family platform. You know, we're building community here. So just take time with us. I know the intro's long. Trust me, I know it's long, but this is Rastafari. It's not no Russian platform. Big up all of the Russian them. But we're Ethiopians. We don't rush. You know what I mean? We take our time to sip, bubble, and then we go in at the topic. Big up Ras Lidge, Ramia King Design. Spend some money with Rastafari. First person who sent I a picture with their Ramia King Design Tumblr get a free copy of the book. We do have books in stock. We're sending out the signed copies. Big up all of the people who have been ordering their signed copies. We have a few more in stock. So get your signed copy, and we always come forward again, but they're here now. So now is the time to order your signed copy. This is a historic book on the birth of His Imperial Majesty, and we're going to be doing some more activations around the book, so stay tuned for that. Big up Wally Kings, CMOS Life, Wally Kings Graphics and Designs, all of our sponsors, everyone who makes it possible for us to do this. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time, editing, this, that, but it's worth it at the end of the day because the global family is coming together. We have some special interviews to release, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to get into the topic now. Tonight's topic is who is Rastafari? We're going deep, and this is reasoning for those that don't know. I am the reading Ras, okay? I'm the reading Ras, and tonight, if you want to follow along, chapter 12 of the autobiography of His Imperial Majesty. If you want to know where we're getting some of this information from, this is coming straight from the autobiography. And we are sketching a portrait of what manhood should look like for the Rastafari man. Right now, we have a lot of brethren who grew up in single-parent households. You know, there's a big debate online. What is masculinity, toxic masculinity, this, that. We have the black print for what a man should be. And when we talk about Rastafari, remember that we're talking about a 24-year-old. I'm 47 years old. So for I, a 24-year-old is a youth man, you know. And I'm looking at Rastafari like, wow. You know what I mean? When you see the discipline, You know what I mean? The purpose, the foresight, the vision. You know, most of us couldn't run a parent-teacher organization. Let's be real. Rastafari, the thought that he put into uh, building a nation at the age of 20, it's mind-boggling. Let's just be honest, family. It's mind-boggling. But of course, the Almighty in flesh and bone sit upon David's throne. The Christ consciousness manifests in a physical form. You know, we see the specialness. But a lot of us, you know, we say Rastafari, Jah, Rastafari, but when they really know the heights, you know, we don't have to make up no mythological this, that the Majesty do. One of the reasons that I glory in the Bible as a Ras is because His Majesty say He glory in the Bible. I don't need no more else, you know. When you know about the research, the access to materials, the first reading Ras is His Imperial Majesty. The item for know this, you know. The access to information, the mind, the hunger of that mind to accumulate knowledge. You know what I mean? The passion for learning and education exemplified by that mind. If that mind tell I and I that we must love Yeshua, I'm not gonna love Yeshua because what? I see the power. Because remember, it's the power. And when we look at Ethiopia, we're looking at the root, we're looking at the source of that became Kemet, that became Sumer, that became the Gobekli Tepe and all of that, these ancient empires. These still emanate from the holy mountains. And we know this because we see today, as was, so shall it be, unconquered. You know what I mean? So it's a serious thing, family. I want to bring up this document just so I have my notes, so I don't miss anything. Let me pull it up here as well. We're going to go into who is Rastafari, and feel free to comment and to share your thoughts in the comment section. This is something, again, very special to I and I. When we talk about Rastafari, the ascension of the Dejazmatch to Ras, we're talking about a story where the Empress Zaditu is not yet an empress. We're talking about a time when Lijayasu, who is Menelik, closest heir, is given the throne, and he's making people unhappy because of how he's moving. You know, if you look in the autobiography, there's a long indictment of Lijayasu that carefully outlines the reasons why he was deposed from the throne. So the rise of Rastafari is controversial within the Ethiopian society of the time. You know what I mean? Because now you have a young, again, he's in his early 20s, you know what I mean? Exemplary in all of his conduct. You know, he has exemplified himself in modernizing Harar. Harar now is one of the highest economic centers of the realm. So he has the attention of all of his schoolmates, the other young Rasses, the elders, who distinguished themselves at battle, from the Battle of Adwa. But there's a controversy, and Lijayasu is deposed. Lijayasu goes into exile, and His Majesty is elevated to the title of Ras. Princess Zaditu is elevated to Empress Zaditu. This takes place on September 27th, sorry. And the crowning is delayed until February 11th of the following year. So when we talk about Rastafari, we're talking about he's starting with a war for the throne, because Lijayasu's father, Ras Michael, wasn't pleased with the ascension of Rastafari to the throne. So a young 24-year-old Tafari is finding himself now, he has to prepare for war. You know what I mean? And if you know anything about Ethiopian history, you will know that Wallo is one of the most powerful kingdoms of the realm. Um, Ras Michael, who was formerly Muhammad Ali, not only is respected among the Christian, but he's respected among the Muslim population. And this is what Lijayasu used to try to straddle the two worlds. Lijayasu, for those who are not familiar, was trying to say he descended from Muhammad and from King Solomon. So he was trying to really lift himself up as, you know, the unifier of Christendom and Islam and one bag of something. But he wasn't disciplined, you know, sexually, socially. He wasn't disciplined and created a lot of problems. Can go into Dijayasu in another episode. Today we're talking about Ras Tafari. So he starts his realm with war. You know what I mean? Um, uh, and for those who don't know, Ras Michael and his armies are defeated, and it's a famous battle for the throne. It's the first time aeroplane was used in battle, and this is one of the seminal battles, you know, Rastafari. And again, outmaneuvered, you know, the Asiancy, his military mind, anticipating things. This is a 24-year-old. The realm had never seen anything like this. So upon his ascension, His Majesty is already looking at the global chessboard. So he's setting the stage for the eventual coronation. Remember that this is in the midst of World War One, so the world is in peril in terms of Europe. The colonies are there under subjugation. This is the heights of the colonial period. So now you have um, His Majesty at this time again a young 24-year-old Rastafari sending out invitations to British Somaliland, to British Sudan, French Somaliland, having those administrators, because he's sending out signals to the rest of the world. This is before he traveled to Europe, before he left Ethiopia, but he's setting himself on the world stage. And remember, at this time, Ethiopia doesn't have any road system. If you're going to Ethiopia, it might take you months to get there by ship from Europe. It's not no Ethiopia airline quick flight. So I want the item put yourself into this realm. Letter might take a few months to reach where it's going. You know what I mean? So His Majesty is making sure the foreign consulates are familiar with his ascension, with his uprising. You know what I mean? Observing the protocol. His Majesty also speaks of him having to appoint ministers, that the ministers who had been there from Menelik time, they weren't really doing any work. They were only ministers in name only. So now His Majesty had to appoint ministers, find qualified people, put people in place to do the business of government. He's modernizing the government. At this time, Ethiopia is running informally. During the time of Menelik, yes, Menelik had an administration, but the kingdoms were still pretty much autonomous kingdoms. So Wallo run Wallo. They just bring tribute to Menelik. You know what I mean? But Menelik can't to tell them what to do in their place. You know what I mean? The king of Wallo run Wallo. The king of Shower run Shower. The king of Tigray run Tigray. You know what I mean? So they were running different ways. So His Majesty now have to appoint ministers. This is a 24-year-old. Remember, we're talking about a young man doing this. You know what I mean? So His Majesty is appointing the ministers. He speaks about a flu outbreak and that he got sick, almost died during this. So because we say His Majesty is the Almighty, it doesn't mean that he's not fully a man. And the concept that we use is fully human, fully divine. Everything that a man faces, His Majesty will face. We don't have a fantastical viewpoint of His Majesty. So His Majesty speak about it in his autobiography. He got sick, you know, had to go through periods, broke his leg, all kind of things reached His Majesty, almost drowned as a youth. You know what I mean? But the power that he shows us is that he always overcome, he conquer, you know what I mean? And this is the example as a Rastafari man that we want our young people to ascribe to, that they conquer, you know what I mean? They can face it. We're gonna go through sickness. We're gonna sometimes you're good, you can't move, you're shaking, you know what I mean? But faith, the determination, you're gonna pull yourself together. Um, so His Majesty speaks about, this period of unrest. Is Lijayasu is still at large, causing rebellion throughout the nation. So as His Majesty is trying to stabilize the government, modernize, put people in place, you have, fighting that's taking place in the provinces as Lijayasu is rising up his armies, causing problems. So His Majesty is sending out man to deal with the situation. People are dying. Blood is shedded, over this rebellion. So His Majesty is dealing with this. All, again, this is during the early period of his Ras. So I say this to say that we all have problems as young men, young brethren. There are going to be problems. But the focus on the task at hand, which was building of the nation, this is the defining characteristic of Kadamawi Haile Selassie the First. And this is why on this platform here I stress to the brethren, find your purpose. What is your purpose? That thing that you are called to do, that you're passionate about, that you have a unique ability to execute. You know what I mean? What is that thing that makes the world a better place? That's a key. And His Majesty speaks about this in his speech on leadership. We've talked about that several times on the platform. But this is one of the defining characteristics through all of the distraction. Because we talk about the achievements, and we're going to go through a list of achievements that His Majesty made as Rastafari, but we don't look at the opposition that he had to go through to face these achievements. Can you imagine if His Majesty was unopposed, what he could have achieved? You can say that about your own life too, you know what I mean? But you still have to do the work. And that is what we want to see within our brethren. We are on the battlefield. Fight is serious. You know what I mean? The black family is in peril. Who is going to come to the rescue? Who's going to ride in on the white horse? It must be I and I. So, you know what I mean? We have to rise up that Rastafari within ourselves. You know what I mean? Isis. So, make we continue. His Majesty also, so he speaks about the arrest of Lijayasu early in the reign of Rastafari, and then he speaks about how ones were trying to drive a wedge between him and Empress Aditu. You know what I mean? Rumors and, really say, how come you're allowing Rastafari to do all the work of government? Because we talk about Empress Aditu, yes, big up Empress Aditu, but she was a figurehead in terms of the work of government. All of the work of government is from 1916 is His Majesty, every detail being put in place. And it scared some people, especially the conservatives, because he's making a lot of changes, radical changes to the government, weakening people's power in their own basis of support. You know what I mean? He's on an agenda that they've never seen before in Ethiopia's history. And it was rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. He's messing with people's money. Remember, when you mess with people's money, that's when they become dangerous. His Majesty was messing with people's money. Rastafari, again, on the pursuit of his vision, the building of the nation. So, on the thumbnail, I talk about the most feared man. You know what I mean? Ras. We talked about Ras meaning head. Tafari meaning, or Tafeti meaning one to be feared. He was the most feared because of the movements he was making. When you see the British sending their representatives, do you think that they were sending representatives to Ethiopia because they respected this young black prince? No. Fear. You know what I mean? Fear. The word was getting out there about the changes that were happening and a youth that couldn't be controlled, it couldn't be bought. You know what I mean? Who's moving on the chessboard in ways they never imagined. Playing 4D chess, they would call it. You know what I mean? This is why they had to send their representatives. Fear. They had to check it out for themselves. They wanted to get the intel on what was going on in these mountains. You know what I mean? So they try to the two things that they use, and it's mindset again. We're going from chapter 12 in the autobiography. The two things and 11, some of 11 and chapter 12. The two things that they use to try to drive a wedge between His Majesty and Empress ID2 was the granting of mining rights to a French company. You know, how is he giving permission for these foreign companies to mine Ethiopia's soil? His Majesty, I remember this is a 24-year-old. I want the item remember. He's thinking about the economic base. Everything that we're doing is going to cost money to build. So this is why this concept of Rastafari don't do business. This is why I burn it out so hot, because Rastafari is the ultimate businessman. You know what I mean? To the extent that granting mining rights to foreign companies, because the foreign companies have the capital and the know-how to deal with the mining right away. We can always be idealistic and talk about we want a black company to do this and that, and we want to keep everything in-house, but that's not how the world works in real life. You know what I mean? We can get there. We can build the capacity. That's where I agree 1,000%. But we got to start somewhere. I'm on YouTube. YouTube is not a Pan-African platform, but we got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Until we can build our own servers. And yes, we have the Rastafari fully platform and the full ecosystem, and we are self-reliant, but we start somewhere, and you can't be afraid to start. This is a next pillar of the Rastafari man standard. We have a lot of brethren who are just wallowing, you know what I mean, in failure, you know, because of trauma. Every time I see the eye as a brethren, you should have something new to tell I about what the eye has achieved. You know what I mean? All of my brethren, when I talk to them, you know what I mean, I feel so inspired because it's just achievements I'm hearing about. So if you're a brethren and you don't have achievements, and achievements mark progress. You understand? Achievements are the marks of progress. His Majesty says that. So if you're a brethren and you're not achieving things, you're not progressing, and you are not living Rastafari. There's not one period between 1916 and 1928 that we can identify progress. So Rastafari, the part of the tribe that we identify ourselves as, that we are called by his name, is a time of radical progress. And we're going to go through some of the achievements. Again, chapter 12. This is the reading, Ras. We're going deep tonight, family, although may have to seal up shortly. So I'm going to spark the conversation, and we're going to continue this because we have some moves to make. But I want the item seriously look at this, who is Rastafari. So the works of Rastafari, and these are detailed in chapter 12. Sitting in court every 2 days. You know what I mean? Sitting in court every 2 days. Sitting in court 2 days every strong to adjudicate cases on appeal. So he was sitting as, you know, the head of the judiciary. So when you go through the court system, after you run your appeal, you can come to Rastafari, and this is something that he had been doing since the age of 16. He started this even before he became the governor of Harar. This was something that the Rases and the kings did in the provinces. They would be the ones who were the court of appeal, you know, and this is that democratic in where, you know, the royal house is also the judiciary and all of this, you know, ruling from the throne of David or the branch of David. All of these concepts Ethiopia exemplifies, you know what I mean? So he sat in court 2 days out of every strong to adjudicate cases on appeal. He had to outline the roles and responsibilities of the ministers and then he built offices for them so they didn't work from home. And then he also provided them with foreign advisors. So he's building a modern government. You can appoint someone as a minister, and remember, these appointments as well have to be calibrated so you don't offend people, because you have to work with the existing centers of power. I can't come in and just because I know there might be some young brethren who have talent, I just put them in a place over Ras so and so, or the Dejazmatch so and so, or the Dejazmatch so and so, or Kez. Now, you understand? I can't just uproot the structure, so I have to strategically put people in places to serve different roles who I know can get the thing done. But I'm going to appoint foreign ministers with them, foreign advisors, someone who knows how to do accounting, who knows how to do modern administration. So at least they have a guide post. You know what I mean? Again, I got to start somewhere. This is the mind of a 24-year-old Ras Tafari. I'm telling the item, the standard. He ended cruel punishment and provided the courts with regulations. So there were certain punishments in the fentanyl gas: chop off a hand, chop off a foot, you steal, you traitor. His Majesty ended all of those cruel punishments that, disfigured people for life. And he put regulations so that the courts, if you do this crime, you get this punishment. So very important to establish stability within the nation, try to cut out favoritism as much as possible. In addition, he established a criminal code to end the corruption in the court system. So again, he gives the example that two people charged with the same crime would have drastically different sentences, and because the judge may know that person's uncle or family member, and then, that was happening in regular. So people were getting two different sets of justice. Establishing a criminal code, you do this is the punishment. There's some, flexibility, but it's within a parameter. So this was established. Again, this is a young 24-year-old doing these works. Establish a special court for disputes for foreign nationals. So you have people doing business, international traders, they don't know the customary law that was prevalent in Ethiopia. You had special court that could help, based on whatever the contracts that was familiar with international. And this is a PR move because you're trying to encourage foreign investment in the country. So you don't want foreigners to feel like if they come and spend money, they're going to get robbed and have no redress. So again, this is the mind of a young, at this time, Prince Ras Tafari, who is setting up this system not just on a spiritual foundation, not just a military foundation, but an economic, cultural foundation. He also imported a printing press, so that, again, encouraging literacy, spread of information. This is why we come in with Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media. But His Majesty had the income from some of the printing presses going to Bethsaida Hospital. So you provide a funding source for your healthcare system at the same time that you're informing the people. He shall set the captives free. You understand? How do you set the mental slaves free? With information, with knowledge. All right? He ended debt slavery and fixed the legal interest rate on loans, so you couldn't charge someone 50% interest. They can't pay it. Now they become your servant for life. Them things that were happening in Ethiopia, His Majesty put an end to these things. He introduced an electric lighting system. He's the one who really started inviting foreign royalty to just come and see the country. All of these blue blood, different people who, I remember that these people are the people with the levels of capital in the foreign cities, these foreign, royals. So he's making them see you can come and invest in the building of Zion, and you're all right. You know what I mean? We have the place under control. It's a peaceful place. He started the importation of modern cars and bikes, so he's building out the road system. We'll talk about that. He also expanded the giving of royal honors, so they had certain high honors, but again, honors sweetening the labor.
So you're honoring more people in more different categories. The Order of Solomon and Sheba introduced certain royal honors and orders within that time. He introduced and expanded education and instruction in foreign languages. So start teaching English, French, Italian, different languages so that people within the realm, his future civil service is going to be able to communicate with foreigners at this time. And many people would ask the question, why is he not um, teaching African languages, or why is he not leaning on African strength more? And we have to remember at this time, this is the colonial period. All of these African nations were controlled. His Majesty is interested in the power center because at the end of the day, he's trying to get things done. You know what I mean? Later on, you will see where he's now helping to free the African nations. You know what I mean? Once Ethiopia has a firm economic foundation, once Ethiopia is running at a certain level, the same principle, you put on your own gas mask before you put on the other gas mask. This is a principle of the Rastafari man standard that we are telling brethren, get yourself together because the nation need the item. You know what I mean? The next thing, he established many hospitals throughout the realm. So the building of hospitals, and that's the next thing. If you call yourself a Ras, are you building institutions? I can ask you, what have you built? And you say, you know, you know what I mean? Give me something. Established military schools, commissioned several flags, established the national anthem, established the Bank of Ethiopia. You know what I mean? And that was formally established a little bit later, 1931, but the groundwork was happening as Ras. Established the first foreign consulates, you know, for foreign legations. So now you have your minister not just visiting, but we have a place for you now to deal with your official business, formalizing Ethiopia as the capital of Africa. Importation of war materials. We're bringing in some military gear, you know what I mean, and armaments, because we know we got to defend it too. Secure the appointment of Ethiopian bishops. So for the church, you know, we don't want the Coptics to have too much control. We have a unique Christianity here. We want Ethiopians to have more say. His Majesty arranged and made that happen. Building the expansion of the road system. So all of these things were taking place during the period of Ras. And I'm going to leave it there for right now. But this is a reasoning that we're going to continue. I want to put this out there because, again, we're creating a standard. Rastafari is not a religion, but it is a standard. There has to be a standard. This thing can't run off a loosey-goosey, you know what I mean? Hippiism. We will pop down and we will leave our children with nothing to stand, you know what I mean? So the standard has to be established, and the standard was established by Rastafari, the most feared man in the world, and you can see why he was feared by the work. And is that not a true measure of a man? You know, we don't fear mouth talk, you know what I mean? It's the works that distinguish you as a man. This is the thing I teach my son, and this is what we have to instill within the global Rastafari family. Homie Sound family, does it make sense? You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments. This is Lion's Voice Live. We are running our 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign. Join us in the Patreon. We're building a movement never been seen before in the Rastafari Pan-African community. We just crossed 50,000 views in the last 28 days. So we are growing. The word is spreading. The might of the Trinity, you know, is shining through the works and through the communications. And we're unapologetic Rastafari independent non-aligned media, and we are publishing the standard. If it's foolishness, let me know in the comments. If you agree, let me know in the comments. Let us have the reasoning. Let us move forward the sounds. Before I go, let me just read out some of the comments. Big up all of my Lion Pride checking in. Camila Blanc. One step at a time, no rush, Raswato. Big up yourself, King. Big up all Lions Voice, Massive and crew. Yes, all the Germany family. Big up yourself. That's crazy. Imagine taking months to reach a country. That I couldn't even imagine. Yes, in them time, 1916, you moving by boat is months. You moving, even inside of Ethiopia, traveling from Harar to Addis. It might take a month. You know what I mean? Bless up Samson Benji. Big up yourself. You know what I mean? Johnny Johnson. Knowledge is power. Education is key. Education about him's life crucial. Chat about the teachings of His Majesty, not just word, also indeed. And this is why we're talking about the works of His Majesty and how heavy when a man take on the title of Ras. You know what I mean? It's not a joke. You know, yes, Johnny Johnson, remember that Ethiopians walk to Jerusalem. It's closer than most people think. And remember also, in this time, most of the Ethiopians are barefoot. Warrior up until coronation, man was coming. The wealthiest Ethiopians were treading barefoot. So I want the item know this is a Asian place we're talking about. Was that before the world broke into countries and continents? No, I am getting new knowledge up from this autobiography. Lion's Voice is really great. Teacher, yes, and everyone read the autobiography. You know what I mean? Read the autobiography, because every time I read it, it's like I'm reading it for the first time. And depending where you are in your chad, is the autobiography, that sip is gonna read different. You know, you're gonna pick out different things. You know what I mean? Africa first, Haile, Haile Selassie the first, and Empress Menenasfa. Yes, Ras Tafari, live and reign. Greetings, Lion Den, for I honor and bless the eye, and the eye works, Rastafari. You know, big up everyone in the comments. I have to make a chat, but I just want the item to see the levels where we're dealing with. You know what I mean? This thing is a works, is a standard. You know what I mean? And it's not the Dejazmatch Kwasi standard. It's not Reginald Road standard. You know what I mean? The standard has been set by the most feared man in the world. And again, he was feared because of what he was able to achieve in the face of all of that opposition that his reign started with war. You know, Sizzla Awad song, he has been crowned for fighting so many wars. Black belong to the throne, Melchizedek. You know them song there? And it's a reality. He has been crowned and he fought so many wars to get to where he was. So this is not an easy trad. And right now we're fighting for our economic liberation. We're fighting for the circulation of the Rastafari dollar. We're fighting to rewire our brain. You know what I mean? Big up Queen Mother Moses, Lion Pride on Patreon. Make sure you go support Queen Mother Moses works same way. What she's dealing with. You know what I mean? All of the Lion Pride. You know what I mean? We just give thanks for the family. And you know, we will be coming forward. This is Reggae Month. This is Black History Month. We are having the true conversations about reggae, about Black history all this month. We're on pace to hit 27,000 by Wednesday live. We'll announce our guests for Wednesday shortly. But tap in. We are growing because of the I them, not because of I. So big up on yourself. I am humbled and I will continue to do the work. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial I represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and take tani, and you can't make me jump nor get funny. Of the engine a run like mechanic room.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Plaga Benz and time have come for the lion to tell them own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice. Ras Tafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use a yet an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
This is Sangy Davis. It's time for the lion to Ika. For unity is strength. Let us come together, my brethren and sisters, and forward to the motherland. Enough love. This is the lion's voice.
Haile.
Ja.
Ras Tafari.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the light. Lion voice.